Not all men. When it happens to you, no one is going to listen to you. It's a beautiful day to work on my dreams. It's such a windy morning. Oof. But it's also very sunny, which is great. I've gotten into the habit of taking a walk in the morning, and the environment doesn't change, but each and every day I just enjoy doing it. It's definitely a healthy habit, which I like, because each and every time I just take a walk amongst these trees and greenery, it just elevates my energy. It makes me feel good. But you know what we don't talk about enough is how the more you do bad things, the more you're putting yourself in a place to tolerate bad habits, or to have a lifestyle that is made of bad habits. And this reminds me of this idea of boys will be boys. It always looks like a very silly statement, very playful. Oh, it's not gonna hurt anyone. But I find it so interesting how many people fail to realize how the things that you teach people when they're young, it remains with them. I really don't understand people who get shocked at the consequences of tolerating or even encouraging the bad behaviors of men. I mean, we are looking at a society right now where we are looking at a huge male population that is obsessed with deviant behaviors. The rise of the femicide crisis is one of those. I mean, what is making these men just kill women? What is making these men have this obsession for pornography? And of course, I know there's some women who do these things, but statistically speaking, majority of people who are doing these things are men. Clearly, this is a problem with the men. When you even look at cases of child trafficking, when you look at a lot of fraud and scams, when you look at drug businesses, when you look at illegal businesses, majority of people who are doing this are men. Even when I look at my own work as a YouTuber, I have noticed that majority of the people who steal other creators' content and use it to build their own brands are men. Like, what is wrong? It's so interesting how people fail to see the connection between this idea of boys will be boys and all these deviant behaviors that a lot of men are exhibiting. You cannot create a society where you teach boys that they can literally do whatever it is that they want without consequence, then be surprised when they become grown men and they're literally destroying the lives of other people through their actions. Put up because no one paid attention to ensuring that the fire keeps burning, and now I literally have to be the one to actually light the fire because no one else is at home, but I have to do it because we need to have hot water for the cows, because hot water is used to milk the cows.
Here's a little crash course in building a fire from scratch because you might need it. Always start with light sticks to form some sort of bed for the flame. We like using dried bamboo because it is very light and highly flammable. Use another medium to carry the flame. In the past we used paper, but now we use roots of a pine tree, if I'm not wrong, because it is extremely flammable. Once that is set on the bed you made early, add other sticks slowly, and when the fire is stable, add bigger firewood. It is important to use dry wood, otherwise you'll have a dying fire every second and a lot of unnecessary smoke unless you want to smell like the woodland savannah. I find that life is very much like lighting a fire. In order to have a beautiful one like this orange flame, it depends on the little things you do. It also applies to the vice versa. A collection of small bad habits creates a fire that burns your life down. It's all in your hands.
And now the water can get hot comfortably. I do have an affinity for the fine things in life. I mean, I like a soft life. Oh, I like luxury. But when push comes to shove, I can do the dirty basics like lighting a fire with firewood from scratch. Can you imagine? Today is the day that I discovered these beautiful pink roses. Oh my god, look at those beauties. My goodness, they're so far away. I can't get there. And the perfect bouquet, one that is right over there, can't reach it, and I cannot snatch it. I can't believe it's been over 1 year since I've been home and I'm just discovering these light pink roses. My goodness, this is where she's been hiding her little kittens all this time. Look at those beautiful kittens. Can you even see them? They're almost the same color as the mom. And here are the chickens that want food. shake, 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 shake. Cause the haters gonna hate, 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 hate. I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. These two just keep on fighting. You can't have two cocks in the same place. Look at how cute they look. Their mothers just stepped away to go eat something. They look fantastic. They've grown so fast. They were only born last week and they're already so big. Wow. The way that this weather has been changing, it was windy and sunny, and then it was rainy, and now it is calm. This is not normal. This is literally the effects of climate change. And yet there's some people who are like, it's not climate change, the world is coming to an end. I find the way people handle discourse, especially on social media, so fascinating, because it's like a lot of people just like living in denial. It's like the favorite sport of a lot of people. And one of the discussions that has been really prevalent in the past few weeks has been the Diddy situation, l'affaire Diddy. And I remember the first time that we had allegations against Diddy, the general sentiments were like, oh, that is not true, she's just doing this because she wants his money. And after a few weeks, a video was released where Diddy was assaulting Cassie, and all of a sudden people were like, oh wow, maybe it's true after all. Even after that video evidence, people thought that Cassie was making up all the other allegations because she was not providing evidence that they could see with their eyes. So if there is no evidence, obviously she must be making it up. And then in the recent weeks, where it has been made public that there might have been male victims, all of a sudden the sentiment is like, oh, Diddy is the worst person ever, he should pay for his crimes. When a woman literally said it from the start, no one wanted to listen. I just find this double standard fascinating, and the fact that women have been suffering in the hands of men for a very long time, but no one takes it seriously. And instead of actually interrogating why these atrocious men are doing these atrocious things, they look at the victims and they're like, oh, what were you doing with that person? What were you wearing? Why were you in that place? Victim blaming has been so normalized because the victims are almost always women. Even I have seen this in the comments and the videos where I share some of my experiences. It's like, oh, you hate men, it's not all men. And I always wonder, when these men say not all men, do they realize that they're also setting up themselves for a world that will not stand up for them? Because the thing is, this normalized victim blaming, while yes, it affects a lot of women, it also doesn't work well for men, because statistically a lot of men face a lot of assaults, not from women but from other men. But when you create this normalization of victim blaming, it means that even when men are assaulted and harassed by other men and all these atrocities are done to them, they can't say anything because they've also participated in creating this culture that doesn't believe the victims. So I find it very fascinating that people were always screaming not all men, not all men, because they feel like they're being victimized when they haven't done anything wrong. They don't realize that they are also creating a culture where if anything happens to them, because yeah, they're not immune to bad things happening to them, no one is going to believe them. And you know what is even the most astonishing thing is that when a lot of male victims come forward, they are made fun of. They're told that, oh, there's absolutely no way that you went through that, you're a man. Other men always make fun of male victims. Even when it comes to this l'affaire de Diddy, look at this, I'm like, this is nothing new. In fact, he's been doing all these atrocious things he's being accused of for a very long time, for decades. People knew and they did nothing about it. So why now? I've seen clips of his past videos where he was talking about how he ensures the women that come to his parties are locked in a room so that they don't leave. And this was during interviews and people are laughing. I'm just over this pretense that people have of, oh my god, I didn't know that he was doing these atrocious things, when literally the writing has been on the wall this entire time. But because he was speaking about doing all these atrocities to women, people thought it was okay. It's a fact that there are so many Diddys in schools, in churches, in workplaces. They're literally everywhere. In families, people know about these Diddys, but they're doing nothing about it. I'm just over this hypocrisy, especially in larger society. We create a society that doesn't care for lives, especially for women's lives, for children's lives. All these atrocities are always happening against women and children and even young boys. And then we also turn around and wonder why there are so many monsters roaming around in society. I mean, if you're not doing anything to ensure you remove these monsters from the root, why are you getting shocked when you become a victim? You know, the problem with people is they think that they will never be victims. They think they are too good to be victims. They think that these victims were doing something that justifies why these things happened to them. I'm sorry to really break it to you. All these things that you see happening to other people, and you think it's okay for you to say, oh, it was their problem that it happened to them. It could happen to you at any time. And the worst thing is, when it happens to you, no one is going to listen to you. No one is going to care. You're not going to get any justice because you've contributed to a system that doesn't listen to victims. So you can scream, not all men, all day long, but just know that one day you will find yourself in the hands of someone like a Diddy, and no one is going to save you, and no one is going to listen to you, and you're going to have to endure it, because that is the price you pay for always reminding us not all men, instead of actually putting all your energy into creating a safe society for all. This is the advantage of living sustainably, because now we have overflowing rainwater. And I can't believe I need to get into this farm when it has just rained.
One of the reasons why I stopped focusing on activism is when I realized that, unfortunately, majority of people support the status quo. It is a fact that many Diddys are walking around because majority of people in society allow them to. The realization that I can't change society because it is held up by individual people's beliefs was cathartic, but also what I needed to know. Ultimately, the most powerful activism is how I live my life. Writing my own story when I'm expected to just follow what has been written is extremely powerful. And of course, I know the systems that majority of people strive to keep alive, even when they're eating everyone up, will try to get in my way. But I am glad that I know how things work, that I am not blind or willfully ignorant. And this means that most times I will not get shocked, nor will I miss to see the danger that is looming in the horizon.